Hello, and welcome to MNL's Hot Seat, a show where we interact with your favorite sports personalities. You're used to seeing them playing their hearts out on the court, but here we get up close and personal with them so you can relate more with your favorite sports stars. I am Chirebvu, and for our debut episode, we are joined here by three very special guests. That is Mr. Tom Mangwiro from Support Unit, Shammah Muneta, the NABA volleyball captain, and also Mr. Gift Chirebvu, aka Savage, from Use It Wolves, who is their head coach. Okay, so Mr. Mangwiro, thank you for joining us today. We were at the recently held Zone 6 Club Championships in Maseru. I'm pretty sure you enjoyed yourself, you had fun, lots of sightseeing there. What is your major takeaway from the championship?
Thank you, Chirebvu. Thank you for inviting me to this great show. Yes, we were in Maseru, Lesotho, where we witnessed the Zone 6 Club Championships. And it was great fun, and it was also a great expedition for the players and the teams. What I would want to say first is I think the organization of the tournament, at first it was not what we expected, but as the games went on, we saw some of the things being corrected. And as Zimbabweans, I think when we are going to host our own tournaments, we need to put more effort on the organization and event preparation.
I agree. And compared to some of our performances in the past editions of the competition, like in Zambia 2022 and Mozambique 2021, for Zimbabwean teams, would you say that our performance is on an upward trajectory, or it's actually going down as the time progresses?
Yeah, compared to Zambia, I think in Zambia we were not that much prepared. We were not up to it. But what I saw in Lesotho is that the teams were a bit better. They were better prepared. Because if you look at the last edition in Zambia, we only had Use It Wolves, which made it to the last four. And also, is it Islanders? Making it into the top 8. But this time around with 3 teams in the top 8 and 2 of our teams making it into the top 4 and 1 of the teams playing the finals. So I think for the men, yes, we were up there, but I'm a bit worried about the women's game. We are continuing going down. In Zambia, we had a team or 2 teams in the top 8, but this time around all our 3 teams did not make it into the top 8. I think that is an area where our volleyball should have to look at and maybe correct that one for our teams, women teams, to make it into the top 8 and possibly the top 4.
Yes, I agree. So as you've heard it, in terms of the men's side, that it was good, but there's still room for improvement. And then in the women's category, there's much room for improvement that is needed there. So, and Mr. Mangwiro, correct me if I'm wrong, you were there from the day the competition began, right?
Yes.
Yes. So you managed to witness most of the matches that were there. For you, who would you, if we were to select one player from each gender, from the men and the women, who would be your standout player?
Yeah, a difficult one, because most of our players in the men were very good, I must say. Because for teams to reach the top 4, it's a collective effort. When a team clicks, all your players up to it, you are likely to reach that far. So to single out an individual and say, but let me pick one, if you insist.
Okay.
I was impressed by Simbarashe Kuzonyei, popularly known as Kuzo. He surprised a lot of people. He surprised when we thought someone was going to be the main man. He turned out and he was the man. And also Shammah, the young lad, is really growing up. He's really taking steps to greatness. So for the men, I would say yes, Kuzo was there.
Okay.
And for the women, I can say maybe all the girls were up to it, but maybe nerves got the better of them, and they could not really stood out.
Oh, by the way, this is not just for Zimbabwean teams. Like someone who just impressed you, maybe it might have been from Mozambique, or even if you don't know the name, maybe if you remember the jersey.
For the women, it is easy.
Ah.
The girl from UPM Mozambique, Ana Paula Sinapota, that one, she was great.
Outstanding
She was great.
performance.
And Charles, for me, for Green Buffaloes, for the men, he was impressive.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. You know, the moment I asked the question, I knew you were going to say Kuzo, because you were also on the commentary, and I don't know the number of times you chanted the name Kuzo. It was a lot. So
Yeah,
I
he
was
was
expecting that response.
an unknown package, but he just exploded.
Okay, so what do you have planned in 2024? What do we expect to see from Mr. Tom Mangwiro?
Of late, as Zimbabweans, we had tried to dislodge Mozambique from the top, and also Botswana. But when we were doing that, we forgot that Zambia was also doing the same, and they overtook us from the left, and could not see that coming. But now we know volleyball has grown in the zone, and we have so many countries coming up, and even you can see that Swaziland, their team, Correctional Sunrise, they managed to beat 3 of our teams, and if you look also at Green Buffaloes from Zambia, they beat 3 of our teams. That shows that volleyball is growing from all directions, so it's up to us now to take it upon ourselves to grow as well, and maybe raise our game so that we can catch up. We have been in the game, and in the last 10 or so years, we've played the finals, we've been in the top 4, but it seems like we had relaxed a bit. We need to bring the trophy home again. We had support unit in 2017, and 2019 it was Youth at Walls. So it has been long. We need to come back again and win. We were close with NABA, and we know very well that next year all the teams will be prepared for us. So next year it's game on. Most of our teams will prepare that, and I know that. And next year in Botswana, I promise you, Zimbabwe will be on the podium, on top of everyone.
As you've heard it, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mangwiro's wish for 2024 is for the trophy to come home. So thank you very much, Mr. Mangwiro, for joining us.
Thank you, Tanya.
Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so my next guest is a recipient of the Zimbabwe Volleyball Premier League Coach of the Year Award, Mr. Gift Chirebvu, aka Savage. Welcome to the show, Mr. Muriwo. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, so Coach, 2023, it was a very remarkable year for you. You had so many achievements, some unexpected, some that you were hoping for. What has been your highlight for the year?
Well, the highlight for this year was managing to come up with a very strong competitive team from, according to me, from the ground. So yeah, that has been the highlight, that we're able to compete after what seems like an insurmountable task when we're starting early this year. Yeah.
Yeah, because you had to rebuild from almost from scratch.
From the ground.
So
yes.
yeah, it was a difficult task, and I want to commend you on doing a very good job there.
Thank
And
you
then
so much.
from the games that were recently held in Maseru, what would be your major takeaway from your team? I know you didn't have the finish that you wanted, but you managed to make it into the top 4. Do you have any lessons that you managed to get from there?
Okay. Well, I would be lying if I say I was expecting to even finish in the top 10. When the draws were conducted, and I saw our group, I was like, well, at least I'm expecting at least just a decent finish. But when the games were progressing and I was seeing how my kids were maturing day by day, you could see that on day 1, they are somewhere down there. Day 2, they are going up. It was going up, their performance. So my hope was at least God allow us to play Quarterfinals. I didn't have high expectations. I just wanted the kids to go out there, learn and get the exposure. I remember talking to them while I was still in Zimbabwe that, guys, I just want you to go and see Zone 6. Then your whole mindset on volleyball will change. And I'm glad they went, they saw. According to me, they managed to conquer because just coming out of our group was a very, very tough task. Worse off, we came off as the top team in the group.
Indeed, you did a lot of work there because that was titled the Group of Death.
Yes.
Group D.
Yes.
And also pertaining to that group, you played Kutlwano from Botswana.
Yes.
And that was a very tough match for you.
Yes.
Yes. So I wanted to ask, how did you manage to handle as a coach? Because you are the one at the driver's seat. And there was a point where Kutlwano managed to close a very big gap. Yes. Where everyone was saying, use it, I was taking this one in the bag. They're going home with it. But they managed to close the gap. And so many emotions were running around the court with some players and coaches even streaming into tears. But you managed to keep your cool and your head straight. How did you manage to accomplish that in such a trying time?
Well, that was a final before a final. Well, to be honest with you, that match was tough. Especially on the psychological part. You had to be able to say the right things to the players, say the right things to your technical team. That was going to sort of like make them believe that they could still do it, because losing a set after leading 23-13 is something nobody can even explain or find words to describe. But what I told them after 2-2, when we were going to the decider, I told them that, guys, remember, all we need is to show that we are fighters. We are wolves. We fight like a pig. We are not here to prove anything to anyone. We are not here to outclass anyone. We are just here to show our talent. Whatever happens, happens. We have seen how this team plays. We know that it can be done. The fourth set, yes, we might have lost it, but we have seen their weaknesses. Let's try and capitalize on their weaknesses. And then when we get to a similar situation, they're like what had happened in the fourth set. Now we are very much aware. Also, as a coach, remember, you learn with each game that you play. I asked them to remember when you get to a similar situation so that we quickly find a solution without having to wait 10, 11, 12 points to discover that we're in trouble.
No, I agree with you. Very, very good points there. And you also the 2023 Zimbabwe Volleyball Premier League champions. How is that feeling? How do you feel about that?
Well, that was a very proud moment because, as I had said earlier, when we started this year, the whole point was for us to rebuild a team that was going to compete. I remember talking to one of our bosses, and he was saying, I'm just giving you 2 years. Take your time. We're not expecting results. We're not expecting miracles. Just take 2 years to build a team that's going to compete, at least after 2 years. But then, you know, with such a working environment where there's no pressure for you to perform, there's no pressure for results, results actually come. Funny enough, you know you're not expecting to win. Then you play, you're just ready to compete. Then you realize, I can actually win this match, then you win. So you realize that the lack of pressure on our part, that we're just building a team, we've got kids. I'm sure you know the age of most of our players. Yes. They're young kids. It sort of like helped me as a coach, it helped the team. Because I remember it was around May, we had a team talk, April, May, with my players. And I told them, guys, my target is by the end of this year, we should be able to compete at Zone 6. We might even take it. They all laughed. Coach, how is that possible? We are still a new team and we haven't even mastered most of the stuff. I asked them, give me a chance to coach you. You see how you improve as players. So winning the National League, getting the Coach of the Year award, to me was testament to what I had tried to instill in my players. Now they could see what I was saying. My words were now put into action, and they could see clearly that, yeah, these things are possible. And I also believe as a coach that anything is possible. Anyone can be taught volleyball. Anyone can improve volleyball. And any team is good enough to be at the top.
Some wise words there from Coach Chirebvu. And I have just one more request for you. I'm going to put you on the spot here a bit.
That's okay.
Yeah. So, from the performances that you've seen in this season, starting from the Harare Volleyball Open, that is the first tournament of the season, up until the Zone 6 Championships, I would like to ask you to draft your dream team, your first 6, like Zimbabwean team, or Zimbabwe. Who would you take from each position?
I'd have to be honest with you.
Yes.
If we are taking from Zimbabwe, since we were Zimbabwean champions, I would never drop any of my players.
Oh.
Yeah, I can go position by position. For example, Seta. Without Niger, our system was never going to be possible. Okay. It was going to be very difficult. You know, we've got a system where we play middle, regardless of where the pass is. According to me, I believe Nigel is the one setter that I put all of my knowledge about that in him. So getting another setter from somewhere, that means our system is out. It's off. We move on to our central blockers. We've got Taguzo Mashaka. Taguzo Mashaka understood that a middle attack can happen anywhere on the court. So you can see, if you watch our matches, especially the local matches, even if the pass was going to position 4 for 4 set, Taguzo Mashaka would still follow and come up with a quick attack. You know, then we have Tafadzo Kapfunde, Smoky. It's his first year to play as a central blocker, but you can give testament that he was actually one of our best central blockers. Even in Zone 6, he had a moment where he actually saved 2 aces in the when we were at Juice and the match was actually very tight. He saved 2 aces. So I could never trade Smokey for anyone else, as is popularly known. We go to the power hitting position. We've got Shane. All I wanted from Shane was his pass. Shane, pass that ball. We trained pass the whole year, and Shane grasped the concept of passing. So if then I take out Shane and put someone who does other things, that means there's no pass. Without pass, there's no system. We cannot play our system.
Very true.
Then we've got Tanakawara. The boy is exceptional. His job on the court is hit the ball, hit them hard, and he does it. He does it to exception. You'd find some of the training sessions that we undertake, we don't set the ball for him. We just toss the ball anywhere on the court. We ask him to get us a point. So you can never change. And the funny thing is, he's a very good passer. He's actually our best passer, right? Then on the opposite position, we've got Dean Mukosa, the
Blacks,
the boy from high school. The boy has matured. From the first time I met him, I remember it was at Zimopen in Blawayo. I approached him. I said, can I have a chance with you to coach you just 1 season? If you're not able with my coaching, you're free to go to another club. But allow me to sort of like add something to your volleyball career. He agreed. I managed to have a chance with him, and he's actually one of the best opposite players in Zimbabwe, according to me.
I agree.
At Zone 6, I'm sure you saw when we're trying to get points, you know, our opponents were trying to play around with their weak block, and they were giving him the weak block. The instruction was, don't worry, just hit it on those hands. You're going to get a point. He actually gave us very crucial points in very big matches. It's very surprising for someone who was born 2005 to be coming up with big points at his first Zone 6. His future is so bright. So, to be honest with you, I would never trade any of my players for any other player from another team. Even our libero, we all can agree he was the National League libero of the year. So we can never change that. What we can do is maybe add 1 or 2 just to relieve those guys, because as you saw, Zone 6, that's where we suffered. The boys got so tired that even if they wanted to play, the body was now fighting.
Too many matches on the run.
Too many matches,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So as you heard from Coach Chirebvu, he's very confident in his players and in his team, and he wouldn't trade anyone else for them. So thank you very much, Coach Chirebvu, for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Also enjoy your holiday.
Thank you so much. Same to you. Okay.
Okay. So my final guest for today is a man who's made a name for himself throughout the African continent, having played in multiple tournaments, multiple competitions with multiple teams, and having won many accolades with them. He is affectionately known as the Sensei and also the Master of Violence, Shammah Muneta, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Muneta, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so Mr. Muneta, I'm pretty sure you had a very great time in Maseru, enjoyed yourself and managed to come back home with a silver medal. That was a very great accomplishment and managed to represent Zimbabwe well. What are your key takeaways from the competition there?
Yeah, I would say it was a very bittersweet journey, and we are extremely proud for the result that we were able to produce, but it kind of stings when you know you could have gotten the gold medal. My key takeaway is Zimbabwean volleyball has a very bright future. Mm-hmm. The amount of kids that we have coming up with a blend of even the older players, I think for a very, very long time, we're going to be at the very top. We're going to be competing, not only participating, but actually dominating. I was happy to see the likes of Aproni Jingorima, Dean Makusha, Tanaka Wara, we have Shammah, Simbarashe Kozone. This is just to mention a few. The bulk of the players that we have are kids in between 18 to 26, 27. That's a very long time of dominance, I think. That's my key takeaway.
Very true. So we have a very bright future ahead of us.
Very, very bright.
Very
future.
bright.
Yeah.
Okay, so throughout the competitions that you've played, I'm pretty sure you've been coached by, what I would say your elders. Mm-hmm. Like there's a very huge age gap between you and your coaches. But then in this competition, you're being coached by Coach Sparks or Kudzaiba Kaidza, who is more of a friend to you, a close friend, and also someone you've played with. How has that experience been different from the previous competitions for you and your teammates?
Well, I think that the most important thing was Coach Sparks, as he's affectionately known, was with us in the trenches, training every day, getting bent by the sun. So in that we built up so much camaraderie that when it was time to perform, we knew what he expected of us. And we respected him, even though he's younger than I am. I would still value the knowledge that he was able to impart, because wisdom and knowledge has no age. You can still get it from someone who's even younger, and he was able to steer us. And my role was to accept that we are now at different levels, and I have to give reverence to him as the coach. And I think everyone bought into that idea, and that's one of the key ingredients that led us to perform the way that we did.
Yeah, that is very good. And in terms of the match between you and Green Buffaloes, there's a time in the third set when you were leading 2015. Could you explain to me, if you remember well, that feeling? How did you feel in that moment?
Oh, you're about to traumatize me again. Because moments like those, you never want to relive them.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that game, we put faith in our younger players, and they were able to deliver. For me, in that moment, I believe I'd taken off my knee pads, I'd taken off my arm sockets, because I thought the game is done.
It's done.
But as one always says, the game is not over until the final whistle has been blown. I guess it's a moment to learn from and to grow from for everyone in the team.
Okay, I agree. And also, this is not a question, but I just wanted to make a comment on what I noticed in your play. I wasn't there for the whole tournament. I was there, I think, from the semi-finals going on. Yeah. And what I noticed, I think you got your nickname, Mr. Violence or Master of Violence, because people know how hard you slam the ball into the ground. But what I noticed, like in this tournament, you weren't just doing just that. Like you were finessing the ball, getting points in different kinds of ways, types of plays that we would never expect from the Shammah Muneta. And I just want to say, I actually enjoyed that.
Well, let's just say it's maturity.
Oh, it's maturity. Okay, so my last question for you, similar to what I asked Coach Fidge. If you were to draft up first six, judging from the play that you witnessed from the beginning of the year, who would you take?
The same response that the coach gave. I'll still pick my teammates.
Okay.
I believe the way that we have performed this whole year is consistent with the team that you can center around if you're picking a very strong six. We have played 7 finals the entire year, including the Zone 6. And we had like 13 players in the being called for the national team. That's a testament to how strong the team is and the many spheres that we can cover. So I'll still pick the difficult task is assigning 6 players, because with the depth that we have, you have 4 players outside hitters. You can interchange any of them. But I would still say my outside hitters, Shammah Chikore, Panashe Sangonya. My opposite is Mike Mapfumo. My setter is Ronald Makombe. And my middle blockers are Kwede and Liars.
Wait. I did not hear you mention your own name there.
Well, for the sake, I do believe experience counts. But for me, I feel like at this juncture in my career, I would give reverence to the kids and how they are playing, and respect them for the work that they've put in. I would be the substitute opposite hitter.
Okay, so he's also good in the court and also very modest, as you can attest from here. So what are the plans for Shammah Muneta for 2024? What are we to expect from you?
For 2024, I'm taking more of a backseat, supporting the kids that are coming up, being able to lend some wisdom, should I say, lend some of the experience that I've garnered over the years. I'll still play, but it's more of a backseat. You might even find me more on the technical side. Oh, interesting. That's what I'm aiming for now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So as you heard, you might find him on the technical. It might be a hint on what we are to see in 2024. So once again, congratulations, Mr. Muneta, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for and same to you.
Okay, thank you. So if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe and leave us a like so you can get notified the next time we post another episode. Thank you for joining us. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from the MNL team. Thank you.